screaming from your soul. We watch it fall. Now you count all gone. Come on, set your light through. Just set your light through before we're only whispers in the wind. You can turn my world upside down or up like I've not felt before. I can trust myself. I need you to make it turn. I know. Will you follow me when the sky starts to change? Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again. Will you follow me? We won't leave it to chance. We can't write our romance. We'll never be the same again. I could keep the light from turning into darkness. You'd be my escape. What have we been told? Easy to unfold. Future might seem out of reach, but we're getting close. Will you follow me when the sky starts to change? Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again. Will you follow me? We won't leave it to chance. We can't write our romance. We'll never be the same again. Will you follow me when the sky starts to change? Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again. Will you follow me when the sky starts to change? Yeah, we won't be afraid.
Steve. But I'm not here alone. I'm here with my world champion and the genius of the mat. Talk to me, guys.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? It is your most decorated champion in all of sports entertainment podcasting. That's
He's
right, your world
undefeated.
champion Watkins is here to talk about some fun news, quote unquote, some interesting predictions for a very kind of a lackluster card, but also a card that's kind of fairly predictable. So maybe we'll have some fun with that. And of course, the meh that was Dynamite, I'll run that down later on, but to run down NXT is, of course, as Vash said, the genius of the mat. Drop this box.
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about NXT a little bit later in the show. Probably gonna be doing the same thing as Watkins, just run through a couple things because NXT is not really known to be like a consistent show where there's a lot of things that really pops out at you. There's only
Hitters.
a couple things that really comes out of it, so that's why whenever I'm on here, I normally just try to talk about the stuff that really matters instead of the other stuff that's just there, and you don't really need to spend that much time on it. But yeah, we got a busy week when it comes to SmackDown tomorrow. We got Night of Champions, which is going to be coming out around 1 my time on that Saturday, so you're going to be seeing us for the next 3 nights, so that should be fun.
Yay.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, SmackDown will be early tomorrow as well. So if you're at work, don't forget to put your VPN. If you don't have one, I would love to say sponsored by said VPN, but we don't got that yet. So, go check out your closest VPN. Go check out the discounts from anybody. Wait until we got one so we can be sponsored and you can use our promo code until then. But like we spoke about it, we have here the Night of Champions this coming Saturday on January 28th. Yes, 28th. Was January. June 28th. Sorry, my calendar was here butchering. I did not time travel. But for June 28th, we have the Night of Champions for 1 p.m. EST. And, a lot of people is questioning this week, are we going to postpone it? Things happen out of our control. So it was interesting to see how the build-up will come, like questionable, hey, are we going to move it? No, they didn't move it. They didn't go. A lot of people was predicting we may go to Chicago if that's a good venue. Maybe could go there. Let's get our staff safe. But hey, we arrived outside. Our superstars already there. CM Punk, Randy Orton, a few others. But this is for the PoE for our Night Champions where there's only fucking 2 of them that's defending their title. I believe 2 of them? Yeah. No, actually 1 of them. Yeah, 2. So sorry. The US title and the WE title. And this is called Night of Champions, where champions supposed to defend their titles, guys. And we only have 2. There's no tag titles. There's nothing being defended on this evening other than that. Sorry, that's my quick rant about that, because I was literally questioning myself as well, as Watkins said this morning. I was like, yo, Night of Champions feel very lackluster. Like, I like the card. It's just that when you're an event called Night of Champions, where's your champions?
No, don't worry. They're on the pre-show that's also known as SmackDown.
Yeah.
Yes. I bet you all of them are there. The SmackDown titles might be doing something. Who knows?
They've got the women's. Yeah, they actually are. Fun fact. Like those are going on against the Wyatts, so have fun with that. You got the women's US title on the line. Zelina taking on Julia, and then Tiffany Stratton is facing Nia Jax in a last woman standing match. So
as always,
more champions.
SmackDown, our pre-show that is being done in Saudi itself at 1 p.m. EST. So go check that out. But without all the fun, quick conversation, we have one of the first matches that got announced this past Monday because of Karrion Kross push over the past couple weeks on social media and everything. But guess what? After the announcement, people start questioning, is he going to actually be a good wrestler, or is he going to be exposed from actually not able to take a bump? Is that the question? Let's find out, because we have Karrion Kross versus Sami Zayn. Watkins, who do you got?
It really should be Karrion Kross. It really, in all honesty, should be.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're in Saudi, and the fact that they're in kind of a homeland for Sami Zayn. It might end up being Sami Zayn, which is why I'm going for Sami for this one. Again, like Karrion should win. If anything, the heart wants Karrion Kross to win. But knowing these Saudi shows and kind of looking at this too, it's probably going to be a face heavy win record for Night of Champions tonight, or Saturday night. And Sammy's gonna be probably one of them. Now, Cross will probably get his heat back after the match if he does lose. But yeah, hopefully he takes a back bump, because I saw some of that footage going around. I'm like, oh, that's awkward. Why are you doing that, dude? Why are you like that? But just let him go out. Just let him go balls to the wall.
I agree.
Let's get reminded of how good Karrion Kross can be, and at least he has a dancing partner like Sami Zayn to kind of bring that out of him.
Agree. And plus, we have the rumor of how he also probably had his last match at main event, so we don't know if this could be his last hoorah. Who knows?
Yeah.
But my pick, I'm gonna be as well Sami Zayn as well, because this is a home field advantage. That's straight to a point. Walker said exactly. But I know that there's somebody else that might disagree with us. Talk to us, Drop.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take the bullet, and I'm just like a lot of this stuff when it comes to my predictions is more of things that I personally want to see. So if it goes down that direction, that's cool. If it doesn't, I mean, it is what it is. But I'm very curious to see if there's like something more to this, because you had that whole thing on Monday where it seems like Karrion Kross and Scarlett kind of reeled Sami Zayn in. So I'm wondering if there's like more to that, like possibly there's something within this match itself that pretty much expands upon that, because I'm pretty sure, like we've seen for quite some time with Karrion Kross, he really knows where he is at all times. So it's kind of like, you put him inside of a maze, he knows how to get out of the maze. If it's like a corn maze or just like a regular maze, he knows how to get out of the maze. So that's basically what I'm doing with this here, because I feel like if he were to get a win over Sami Zayn, that would be big, because Sami Zayn is a main event player, and if he's able to outsmart him or do something, that would be really cool.
That would be great.
So that's basically like my whole mindset behind this, because I don't know. To me, it just feels like they wouldn't really throw that in there unless there's more to it, because he's been targeting Sammy for so long. So if he were to lose to him, even though I wouldn't be surprised, it would just kind of, I would just be like a little confused, because he just seems like he has this guy in his hand. So I'm wondering exactly what that is.
Yeah. I'm wondering too, like what's gonna be the kicker? What's gonna be the selling point for this match? See, that's why I want Karrion Kross to win, but I mean, it's just, again, Saudi, how these princes can be and what they like and all that. It's just like, yeah, exactly. But man, does the heart want Kross to win?
Oh yeah.
Question is, what else does the heart want? Are you for mommy, or are you for the bodyguard that fails at everything she does? Because we got the street fight of Raquel Rodriguez versus Rhea Bloody Ripley. I'm gonna be straight up. My answer, Rhea Ripley. That's as simple as it is. She's a babyface. I don't think Raquel needs this win. She should get this win just to build her, like a single side. But right now, they haven't pushed Raquel very well to actually get a good eyes on the ball for her as a character. So I don't know if she's gonna get this. And right now, Rhea is still, being hot. She's still, hunting for her title. She's still hunting for war. So Rhea Ripley is my choice. How about you, Drop?
I'm going to say Rhea Ripley too, but I'm also going to say that Raquel does have a chance only because of this whole Roxanne thing, because I'm trying to look at the bigger picture here. What could easily be one of those things where once Liv Morgan comes back, they can sort of rub it in her face and be like, well, I was able to get one up over Rhea Ripley. You weren't really able to ever do that for me. And you could easily use something like that if you want to build up the Roxanne character and make her really stand out, make her feel extra special to really take her spot, because that's definitely the story they're probably going to be telling until Liv Morgan gets back. So if Raquel were to win this match, that would probably be one of the things to really build to that, just to tell that story. But if that isn't in the cards, then I'm just going to go with Rhea.
Yeah.
Hey, how about you, Watkins?
See, that's the thing. That's what's getting in my head, because like I said, this is going to be a face heavy win-loss record here at Night of Champions. But this is one of the times where the heel's gonna win. I'm going Raquel for this one for basically the same reasons you were saying, Drop, is, we're just starting this thing with Roxanne, and what better way to get in with Raquel, especially with her still holding those women's tag team titles, what better way to get in with her than to help her beat Rhea Ripley? But I think the one thing I just really want from this match is to have Raquel actually like show out a bit and show off. Because I don't know if you guys remember this, or like their one street fight they had in NXT, that was really good.
Yeah,
Like, it was intense, it was fierce, it was good, and that's the Raquel Rodriguez we need to have. That's the bodyguard she needs to be in WWE. So like, if she gets the opportunity to showcase that more, great, more power to you. And like we saw on Raw, even just the distraction of Roxanne is enough to kind of help Raquel put one over on Rhea. So like, even if Roxanne just like gets in the way of an attack or something, that'll be enough to have Raquel be like, okay, you know what? You're cool and all that. And plus, like, them telling the story of like, oh, we're actually kind of succeeding a little bit more with Roxanne around compared to when Liv was around. I mean, that continues the whole Finn Balor story that they're telling.
Yeah.
Him and Dom kind of coming into blows too, because it's like, Dom misses Liv, but like Finn is now trying to push Liv away. And if Dom is actually going to be loyal to Liv, which, I mean, with his track record, he's not, as a talent, as a character, he's not supportive. What's the word I'm looking for?
He's not loyal?
There we go. Yeah, he's not loyal to the ladies, if you will. Like, a new pair of tights comes around, he's like, oh, hello. And, I mean, Roxanne is the new pair of tights there. It's like, is he going to be shooting glances? I don't think so, because he's like all depressed now. He's kind of acting like Rudius from Mushoku Tensei, where he's just like,
God.
I'm down in the dumps. Wham, my girlfriend's not here to help lift my spirits, quote
Which
unquote.
color of the Skittles you want? Red hair, green hair, or blue hair?
Which Pokemon starter do you want? Do you want Bulbasaur, Squirtle, or Charmander? All three. Anyways, Raquel Rodriguez for the win.
Great choice. I agree with our first two categories that it could go either or for the winner in this. But for this one, we obviously know who's going to go to. Who is our Friday Night SmackDown mascot? And that is the U.S. title holder right now, Jacob Fatu, who's the current champion, versus Solo Sikoa. I'm going to say my answer is very simple. Jacob Fatu. He's going to still be the champion. How about you, Drop?
I'm probably gonna go with Jacob Fatu, because I feel like probably gonna get a little bit more out of this reign. Maybe we'll get some sort of hints with tomorrow's episode of SmackDown, depending on what sort of direction that they're gonna be going down. If there's like anything that's like thrown out there to really make us, question our predictions as of right now. But I'm gonna go with him. The only thing I can really think of, if Solo Sikoa were to win this match, if they wanted to go down that direction, is the whole Hikuleo thing, where they've been having this guy on main event for quite some time. They haven't really thrown any foreshadowing anywhere, so I'm just gonna stick with Jacob Fatu right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for Jacob as well. I think there's still legs to tell a good story when it comes to Jacob versus Solo, because like, I could see it where it's like Jacob wins here. He, retains his title and all that, but then Solo and whoever, like, with Hikuleo and JC Mateo, they could still cost Jacob Fatu that US title, because we know that Damian Priest is just lurking in the shadows right now, waiting, biding his time and all that. So it could be a thing where, like, okay, like Saturday night's main event, they have a match, and like Solo and the boys end up costing Jacob. Now that's gonna suck with Jacob Fatu eating a pin. Like, I don't want to see that quite yet. But if it's somebody towards like Damian Priest, I could at least stomach that, because at least Damian's a former world champion. He's at least like somebody that can stand up to Fatu on some sort of physical level.
Yeah.
But and then Jacob and Solo end up having another match at SummerSlam and all that. So like, yeah, the feud can still go on
Agreed.
like beyond this. But yeah, I think Jacob's gonna take this, but I wouldn't be surprised if Solo does do a beatdown afterwards with his boys and all that. But yeah.
Agree, we're on the same boat on this one. The question is, now we get into the actual event itself. It's called Night of Champions for the King and Queen tournament of who will get their spot to fight for SummerSlam for their choosing of title. We have the first one, Queen of the Ring, finals, Asuka versus Jade Cargill. My choice, Jade Cargill. And people ask me why. Originally was Asuka. I would love to see Asuka versus Io at SummerSlam. 100%. But I don't think you need the Queen of the Ring to make that happen. That match could happen organically without an issue. The reason I choose Jade Cargill to be my choice is because Naomi has the Money in the Bank. So if she gets the Queen of the Ring for Jade herself, she gets her spot to versus Tiffany. Jade could win, but then Naomi could cash in at Money in the Bank. I mean, at SummerSlam with her Money in the Bank briefcase. Because we have seen that happen many times before at SummerSlam. And it is a 2-night event. So that's my bold prediction of why I think it will be Jade Cargill and not Asuka. But I'm not alone. How about you, Drop? What's your choice?
I mean, I'm gonna stick with Asuka because, I mean, if you want me to be honest, you could get to Asuka and Io or Jade and Tiffany without this tournament. That's the thing. I mean, it could go either way because you don't necessarily need to win this to get there. Because if Asuka wins, she can get Io that way. If Jade wins, she can get Tiffany that way. If one of the other loses, they can still go down that route to go against that champion because that's more than likely going to be the match if either or doesn't win this one. But I'm just going with Asuka just to be different, and also because she just came back. You want to put a good showcase for her. You could easily tell a story between her and Damage Control when it comes to the relationship that these ladies had ever since the beginning. You could throw Kairi Sane in the middle, so she could be one of those people that could choose between the both of them. Maybe there's tension that goes on within the group. Maybe Kairi has to look, do I want a side of Io? Do I want a side of Asuka? Is the drama too much for me? Do I want to just walk away? I just feel like Io's just been on the back burner for quite some time. And I feel like if you want to throw her a bone or something and give her something really interesting heading into SummerSlam, you could do that. Because Tiffany at least is on SmackDown doing things. We don't really see Io as much. So that's also another reason why I'm throwing Asuka the bone, because Io hasn't really wrestled ever since WrestleMania. Tiffany has had matches ever since.
A lot of people have been complaining about that, so I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, so like that's another reason like why I'm throwing it there. And there's also like the thing I brought up before, where it's like you see that Jade's in the Queen of the Ring finals. Even though Naomi can call a shot at any point when that time comes, she could easily do it tomorrow if she really wanted to. The thing that she has with Jade and the things that she said about Jade, it's just hard for me to believe that she's going to want to see Jade win something like this.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about everything surrounding this. But I'm just going to stick with Asuka.
Yeah.
Oh, you Watkins, you miss Asuka. You've been requesting for her to come back, and now she's here. Are you on the same boat?
I mean, so out of all the matches on Saturday, this is the one that's like the most up in the air because it could really go either way. Just for the exact reasons that Drop was talking about. Because like, yeah, we could get to Jade and the title picture any other way. Same with like Asuka and Io. We can get to them any other way. So they don't really need the Queen of the Ring tournament. Most of it would actually kind of determine what happens tomorrow night, but we're doing predictions a night ahead, and that's the beautiful thing about doing predictions beforehand, because it's like, oh, anything can happen and all that. So right now I'm going Asuka because kind of the same reasons that Drop said, and I think having Asuka win, it'll give something for Io to kind of shoot for. Plus, it'll give some sort of build for Evolution 2 as well, because who's going to be trying to face Io for the title then? There could be some jeopardy that goes on there. Have her like have a banger match there with Asuka looking on. Hell, you could throw Kyrie a bone, give her a shot at it, just to kind of play upon the whole former damage control stuff that can easily be told there. And with Jade, I mean, she could lose clean. There could be the thing with like Naomi costing her, but
Mhm.
I mean, again, it's kind of a toss up too, because it's like, okay, do we do Jade versus Naomi for the title at SummerSlam? Where would Bianca fit in all this? Because I know she only has like a broken finger, but she's supposed to be back around that time too. And
Yeah, I believe when I saw her on
Mhm.
Fanatics, a few of the pictures, she was still wearing like a brace or like a band still for her finger.
Yeah. So I mean, there's always whatever's going on with her too. Um, yeah, a lot of that's gonna determine what happens tomorrow night with Tiffany versus Naya. But yeah, I mean, I'm going Asuka. I'm going Asuka here because again, she's also my girl, so I kind of have to.
I know
in
you
a
gotta
sense,
support.
you
I know
know.
you gotta support.
But
I get it.
I would love for Jade to win too, because she could use the accolade as well for how early her career is. But
Exactly.
just think, Empress, the Empress of Tomorrow, is now the Queen of Tomorrow. Nah, the money's right there.
It rolls off the
money's
tongue. I
there.
get you. The
Yeah.
beautiful merch we're gonna get and everything else. But
No.
we just don't have the queen only. We also have the king of the ring finals. We have the Viper, Randy Orton. And we also have our American Nightmare, the undisputed. Sorry, not undisputed no more, but Cody Rhodes
Mm.
for the king of the ring. My choice, and I see that everyone's choice here on the panel is unanimous. If you guys didn't know, it was this guy. Here's our choice. The one with the big tattoo on his neck.
Oh, the big old tramp stamp on his neck. Yeah, gotta love it. Yeah, I mean, it's Cody. It's gotta be Cody. I mean, love Randy would be another great accolade for his already legendary career.
Yeah, but I'll say I don't think he has it yet,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't be shocked. Look, chat, I'm gonna be honest. If Randy wins, I would not be shocked, and I would not be disappointed. Like, oh,
That'd be cool.
okay,
Yeah.
Randy won. Makes sense for him to be like, the type of allocate like Walken said, like you have a history, you wanna just add one more thing. Like if he hasn't won Elimination Chamber, just check things off the boxes. Sure.
Yeah.
If Randy wins, I'm all for it. Cody is just an obvious thing. Like he is gonna main event, SummerSlam. He is the guy. He's still the babyface. We might have questions in our tidbit in our greater wrestling media. Is he still questionable to be babyface? But we will talk about that soon. But how about you, Job? You on the same page like us, right? Cody is an obvious one.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Cody because I feel like it makes the most sense because I mean obviously when you had these two guys in here, a lot of people came to a quick conclusion, right? Yeah, they're gonna do this match because they have been prolonging it because it's been like 3 years since Cody Rhodes has been back in WWE. So it was only a matter of time before we got this match, and I'm actually really intrigued to watch this because I'm very interested to see this version of Cody going up against Randy because before Cody was a lackey, so he really wasn't as experienced as he is now. Now this is like an evolved form of Cody. This is a newer Cody that Randy hasn't faced before. So it's going to be very interesting to see these two in the ring because obviously he was under Randy's wings, so Randy probably knows all the tricks, but it would just be really cool to see exactly like what lengths these two will go. And also another reason why I'm looking forward to this match as well is this could easily be the building grounds for the Randy Orton heel turn because you already see that he's frustrated, and he even is very upfront with people where he's like, even though me and you are buds, Cody, if I have to go through you to get to Cena again, I will. And it could easily be one of those things where it's like Randy's just so frustrated. It's like, oh God, I lost to the guy that I had under my wing. He's my lackey all these years ago, and I lost to him. So it's like, okay, he's getting the John again. I didn't really get my shot. Basically just like all those things, it just really building to a heel turn for Randy. And I feel like we'll obviously talk about the whole Cody thing later, but I just feel like the bigger picture here is probably like Randy going on this heel turn arc more than Cody, but we'll obviously like dive into that a little bit later. But yeah, Cody here, and I can see the building grounds for the Randy Orton's heel turn.
Yeah, I could easily see that as well. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like we're all here for the code. We're all getting onto his bus with the vodka.
Yeah, never
I
even
would
tried
love
it.
to be trying that vodka. I haven't. I do like my little American wheelie. I haven't tried it, but I would love to. If he ever wants to sponsor, throw us one. Send it to our address. I would love to. Just
Throw me
put
a
one.
bone.
Exactly.
Throw me a fifth. I don't know.
But our most likely main event, the one that is
I think
huge.
so.
We've been wanting this.
Yeah.
We've been wanting and asking for this. Not in Saudi though, because definitely we're not the only ones that asked for it. CM Punk did ask for it, and it's for the WWE title. John Cena, his own time, his last tour, versus CM Punk, our nine champions. Minus John Cena. Chat, I'm gonna be simple. My answer is John Cena. I don't think he's gonna lose it. I would love to say CM Punk win it against it. That would just be a beautiful, like, just a little nice revenge story.
Yeah.
Closing the, the little knot on the bow. It would be amazing. But sadly, I don't think will happen. How about you guys? Whoever wants to go first, how you feel about maybe CM Punk winning? Anybody has that?
So I'll just say I would love to see Punk winning, but I feel like John Cena more than likely is going to win this match because obviously, I mean, you look at who's winning King of the Ring, more than likely you're going to have to revisit that match sooner or later, especially with all the story being told with Seth Rollins and Money in the Bank. You never really know what sort of direction he wants to go down. But yeah, I could see John Cena winning this match. I actually feel like him and Punk will probably have a good match because they did actually have some good chemistry during the Elimination Chamber. And they even touched on it and they even talked about it, that they felt something there. And even a lot of people online noticed it as well when those two were in the ring. Because, like, one of the things that you got to know about CM Punk, and he made it pretty apparent during the Raw premiere, like back in January, he says that he always brings the best out of everybody. If it's in a promo battle, if it's in the ring, whatever the case may be, he always brings the best out of them. You can tell because he did it with Drew. He did it with Seth Rollins. He did it with Cody when he had promo segments with him. He did it with John. Like me and Watkins talked about this on Friday, and we were like, John Cena, when it came to him doing this thing with CM Punk, I mean, it almost feels like, where was this John Cena all along? So it's like, I'm really looking forward to this. Tomorrow's the 1 year anniversary of the pipe bomb, so I'm very curious to see exactly what CM Punk is going to do on that Friday, because I would assume he would more than likely be on that show. But yeah, I'm just going to stick with John. And I feel like this is going to be the main event because the way I actually see it happening is I feel like the King of the Ring match is going to be before that match. And then you might just end off the show with like Cody and John looking at each other because they want that money shot and they know they want to give me something to put in the thumbnail too. So there's that.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a reason I didn't get it yet. So drop, you might remember this more often, and you've probably seen some, and maybe both of you guys have been seeing some people rumbling about this, and I'm kind of on this boat as well. Cast y'all's minds back 13 years ago. The year's 2012, Night of Champions, if you will. John Cena facing off against CM Punk for the WWE title. CM Punk is the title holder. Banger of a match. Both men laying it on the line. John Cena goes for the pin. 1, 2, 3. Everybody thinks he's won it, but no. Wait a minute. John, your shoulders were also down. It's a draw. CM Punk is still the WWE champion. It's going to be a draw. They're going to recreate that moment because most of what like John's like, especially stuff with Punk, it's been about them revisiting a lot of old beats.
Yeah.
They might do that. And the reason I'm more for it now is because I think about SummerSlam and I'm like, okay, what is Punk going to be doing for SummerSlam?
Yeah.
Because if it's like John versus Cody at SummerSlam, great, they have something. Seth might have Roman then, because Roman's rumored to be coming back around like fairly soon. And I think after SummerSlam he's going to film Street Fighter, because I guess I got confirmed today that he is going to be in that movie. But like, so I'm thinking, okay, what is Punk going to do? Like, what does he have to do? They might make it a triple threat match for SummerSlam. Punk versus not Rollins. Punk versus Cody versus Cena. Because I still think that Cody at the end is going to take the title from Cena. But I think SummerSlam's still a little too early for that. I think we are going to drag that on just a little bit longer. Keep having Cody chase after John. And if anything, I mean, this might be a wrench in it too as well. Even if it's not John that holds the title by the end of the night, they could always do a thing. They could always do a swerve where it's like, oh, either Cody or Punk wins at SummerSlam. Oh, hi, Mr. Money in the Bank. How you doing, Seth Rollins? Stomp takes the title from them, takes their moment for himself, because again, we want to recreate history and all that stuff. But that also gets into fantasy booking and all that. But like, yeah, I think they're gonna recreate that moment where Punk ends up pinning John, but it ends up being a draw because, oh, your shoulders were down too, or some BS. Like, there's going to be some sort of dusty finish, I think, to kind of lead into something similar to that. That's just where I'm thinking, because, like, that's the thing. John can't be losing right now because, again, he's still on his retirement tour. And really, Punk shouldn't lose any big matches right now because he's on a good run. He's on a good stride right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's on a good path.
Yeah, and it's not really the time, at least for me yet. It's not really the time for him to start like losing to other people, and especially to like people that aren't going to be around as much anymore. So it's like, okay, Punk can probably lose to like your Jacob Fatu's or like your Braun Breakers or Bronson Reeds and all that, because they're going to be here for a while. But like John Cena, does John really need another CM Punk win?
Oh.
Does he? Like, the two have gone back and forth how many times in the past years? So yeah, I'm going draw with this one. And I also don't think this is going to be the main event just because of that. I think it'll be like the semi-main event. I think they might end with Cody and Randy because
they give them a lot of time. I'll be okay with that.
Yeah, but I could see this also main eventing as well, because again, it's also John Cena versus CM Punk. So
yeah,
that just main event written right on it. But that's just where my mindset is on with that.
That's a good thought for us to kind of think back in the aspect, because like, the Night Champions of 13 years ago and everything like that. That's a good concept, and you're on good reason with CM Punk still right now having a good track record, right now having a good push right now with his character, and himself still pursuing that title, that goal. Since he came back, he said, I'm not here to make friends, I'm here to make money, I'm here to make the history. So you do got a good point.
Yeah. So, and plus, like, if he did end up winning it from John, again, Rollins is right there with the Money in the Bank, and he's pretty much vowed to make sure that title is never around Punk's waist. So
yeah, even if it's for 5 minutes and 46 seconds. But we have the Night Champions. Predictions is over. Now we're entering the greater wrestling of media. This segment is so to use highlighting any indie promotion we went to, or news that we want to discuss, any interesting documentaries or interviews that we check out, like the one behind me. If anybody have not seen that many clips on the timeline, it's insane, because I haven't even seen the whole podcast, but I felt like I have because of how many clips you've seen online. We have a first topic to get into, and it's going to be nobody's favorite name to bring up, but is the injury corner. Some people have been hurt. Somehow, is the same person the first one, or maybe it's two different people? It's a bit questionable. It's a bit questionable on who it is, but the first person that we'll talk about is Chad Gable and a Grande Americano. has been hurt on a shoulder injury. Most likely same shoulder, same muscle, same spot from what I heard. Is a rumor, who knows? But both of them are out. What do you guys want me to speak about the other injuries and then we just, just speak of it, or we just...
We can go one by one, really. Just
Okay, copy. When I asked about that. Oh yeah, but we got Chad Gable and Grande Americano. My quick thoughts. Yo, put Ludwig Kaiser in that mask and let him be a Grande Americano. That's the rumor or the report. So slash theory that some fans are hoping for. I want something like that. I feel like it'll be funny, even though he's like, I think, a couple inches taller than Chad Gable. But I like the idea. I like the concept. I'm just throwing that out there.
Apparently he's been bulking up. Like,
yeah, maybe that's why. So, maybe that's why he's been taking, eating, and everything. Probably taking the right.
He might have the same tattoo as well. So
yeah.
I mean, that's but...
Chat, in case you didn't know, there is a makeup department backstage that knows how to do, tattoos, little imprints, so stuff like that happens. So it's possible. But how you guys feel about this news of Chad Gable and, weirdly enough, that Grande Americano also had the same exact injury on the same, on the same shoulder?
Crazy world we live in.
Yeah, stuff happens.
Yeah.
Drop any thoughts on that one?
All I'm gonna say is hopefully get better soon and just move on.
Agreed. But he's not the only person that's injured. We have our IC title of the men's. He is injured. Our boy Dominik Mysterio has a rib injury and is not at work. He is actually injured. That's why our title card of AJ Styles versus Dominik Mysterio was originally there for Night Champions, but he can't wrestle. So I cannot be mad at Dom, but I can be mad at the other people that are not there. But it's not at them, it's at the booking. How y'all feel about our boy Dom being hurt with the ribs?
Man, that sucks. That really sucks, man. But hopefully, it doesn't seem like it's anything too serious because they're at least like
still keeping him as champion, right?
Yeah, still keeping the title on him, and at least having him on TV. So it just looks like he might be a little banged up. So yeah, they could have the match like on a Raw or Saturday night's main event. Yeah. I mean, why not try to counter book freaking All In on that night?
Yeah,
and good luck with that, because All In is looking pretty good. Not gonna lie, I'm kind of leaning towards AEW on that night compared to WWE. But what about you, Drop?
Yeah, because at first I thought it was a work just because we talked about on Monday about how this could be one of those things where they don't want to go over to Saudi. They want to play safe and everything. And him and AJ decided just call it quits there and reschedule the match whenever they have it. But hopefully he gets better soon. And then we could see that match on either a Raw or Saturday night's main event.
Agreed. Then the next one we have is Otis. He's out with an undisclosed injury and for personal reasons. The source is on Cutaholics. I'm gonna see what they said. It's been several weeks since Otis has last seen on the W screens, which I have questioned that. With the former Money in the Bank holder not seen since May 5th. Really? Wow, May 5th? Damn, I did not expect that long. I thought it was like early June, but wow, been longer. Otis lost to a returning Rusev in May and has been absent since taking a backstage pass Q&A and wrestling roles. This suggests that with some quote, I believe he's out of action. Don't know if he's an injury or personal reason. However, we spoke about this roster that show up. Otis is currently not on the roster, which means that they're not available right now for whatever reason, personal injury, we don't know. We don't want to speculate. However, they're not available for weekly TV at the moment. That's all we got. How you guys feel about our boy Otis, kind of being disappeared or being used as, hey, probably our boy Rusev did a good enough damage that he's gone. That's also probably something good to have.
I mean, just get well soon, Otis. I mean, no matter what's going on, whether it's a personal reason, an actual injury, just get well soon, buddy. All right?
Yeah, same thing here. Get well soon.
Yeah.
Well, we should say that one more time because the other person has been out for a while, and it has actually been earlier this month, is Pat McAfee has been out for since June 9th for the past couple of weeks, and Corey Graves has been taking his return alongside with Michael Cole on Monday Night Raw for the past couple of weeks. Pat McAfee addressed. Oh my God, I feel bad for this man. He was annoyed because the people just kept butchering him while he's not there, and then just giving the flip of comments on his quote retweet. But he said, continue to like kind of catch up on life as a whole. Post Money in the Bank, pre-Night of Champions was getting pretty exhausting here. So shout out to everybody at WWE for looking out for me, and very thankful. Pat McAfee is in his second run as a full-time announcer on WWE TV and have been a color commentator on Monday Night Raw since January 2024. So I appreciate Pat McAfee for being straight up to the audience and everything. But people, my comment towards this is that when you have a commentator team that you could switch out and rotate, that's the benefit. That you have to understand that this is one of Pat McAfee's jobs. This is one of his gigs. This is not his full-time job where he only works on Mondays or on POEs. So he has a 2-year-old that he didn't mention on his tweet. He has his own successful personal brand that he's building and is succeeding. For 14 employees is what he mentioned. So he has his own endeavors that he's pursuing and having his own success. And people are mad that he's missing a couple of days of work or weeks technically, or a weekly TV. And it just sucks how people treat him. Because, like, for example, we here are 3 panelists. Sometimes we're not always here. 3 of us. Sometimes it's Nick and Watkins, or sometimes it's me and Nick, or sometimes it's me and Watkins. That's the benefit and beautiful part, that we are a 3-man team. We could at least exchange or rotate if need be. That's just my 2 cents on that, chat/audience on that, because it's just crazy how people could be upset of a man just wanting to take hey, I need a breather. Hey, Raw, hey, W, can you give me a couple of weeks off? I need to get myself back in order. We were killing it, hustling with his POEs that are literally a 2-3 week difference, where it used to be 3 to 4 weeks or 5. Now it's just getting shorter and everything else. So I feel bad for Pat McAfee and the audience for them to treat him like that. But my best thing is, take care of yourself. You have 6 other things that you'll worry about in your endeavors. And I know it's challenging to just, stress yourself about so many things on your plate. But how about you guys? Any thoughts, Watkins?
So what I'll say,
Drop?
Yeah, so hoping for the best for him, catch up on things that he needs to do. That's always important. And Corey Graves always does a good job. So it's good to see him and Cole again. And whenever Pat's ready to come back, whenever he gets things situated, we're here for it.
I agree on that. That's kind of like the benefit when it comes to in his line of work. So I appreciate for Pat McAfee to continue his thing. I'm not stressed when he comes back. I like Corey Graves, like you mentioned. When it comes to our next person to discuss in our injury corner is Buddy Matthews. Did suffer a setback from his ankle injury. He did discuss it in his Instagram live. Pat McAfee, the ankle is not recovering as well as I thought would be. There's no mobility of it. If it can't have mobility, I can't move properly. Once it hits 3 months without healing, it becomes chronic. I thought I'll be back in the ring in April, Matthews said. So, Drop, how do you feel about this news from our boy, Rhea Ripley's partner, not able to go back in the ring?
I mean, that is unfortunate, because I'm pretty sure one of the things he wants to do is head back in the ring. But when you have an ankle injury and you're moving around the ring the way he does, I mean, that's kind of hard to really insert yourself in there. And ankle injuries are no joke. I mean, I rolled my ankle last week. I'm still recovering from it. It does take some time, especially depending on like how it happens, because it can definitely set you back and just prevent you from doing a lot of things. Because sometimes when it happens, you can't lift certain things, you can't perform the way you do, because you always have that thought in your head where you're like, should I apply a lot of pressure onto my body? Could I possibly roll it again? Or could I possibly, something along the lines of that happen again? So,
yeah,
he has his wife there. obviously she's taking care of him, doing what she needs to do. And obviously, he's doing what he can to recover so he can eventually get back in the ring again. So hopefully whenever that time comes, he's ready to do what he loves doing.
I agree that you said it perfectly. On our last of the injury corner, what we got is Elton John has been out for the past couple weeks. Right here from our source on Cutaholics, over the last couple of weeks, fans have noticed an absent name from the WWE programming. As Pretty Deadly, Elton John has not been present on Friday Night SmackDown or any other shows for that matter. Kit Wilson has been making appearances in dark matches, in WWE Speed, which I always keep forgetting to never watch it for some apparent reason, on Main Event, but fans were quick to notice that he wasn't accompanied by his tag team partner. On June 20th episode of Friday Night SmackDown, aka last Friday episode, Kit Wilson arrived to wrestle in a singles match against Aleister Black, but it was revealed on the commentary that Prince was ruled out with an injury. Wishing him well during his recovery. No details have been provided to his nature in this time frame currently, but with Wilson wrestling in singles matches recently, it's such against a debuting Hikuleo on Main Event, so it's going to be pretty interesting how we're going to have Kit Wilson doing some type of singles run, probably since he doesn't have his tag team partner. What you think about that drop?
I mean, maybe this is a way of showing, what Kit Wilson can do outside of the whole tag team thing, because sometimes it works out for some people, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it's best for them just to stay in that division that they were originally in, but hopefully they can find something for him. I would hate for it to be one of those things where it's like he's just going up against people just to give them screen time on the show and that's it, and he's just chilling in the back and catering, eating snacks or whatever the case may be. But wishing best for Kit Wilson when it comes to his solo run, and hopefully whenever Elton gets things all situated, they could head for those tag titles again.
Yeah,
agreed. How about you, Walkers? Because I know you haven't given your thoughts for Pat McAfee, Buddy Matthews, and Elton John. So talk to us.
It kind of sucks with Buddy Matthews. Like that just really sucks. That you get that
Elton
setback
John.
and all that. Oh, Elton. I love it. Hopefully for Kit Wilson, he can do more like Drop said, but I have a feeling they're probably going to be using him a lot as enhancement talent, if you will. And with Pat McAfee, the only thing I gotta say, people, look, have your opinions or have your thoughts about who you prefer on commentary and all that. Don't attack the actual people.
Yeah.
Like, don't verbally go after them on social media, especially if they're trying to take time off, because it sounds like to me like Pat just kind of got burnt out after a bit, because like that's the thing, he does more than just commentary on WWE. He has a whole freaking show he's doing. He has a whole company that he's building. Like this man's working a lot and traveling a lot, and he has a baby right now. Like, come on, people, just chill out, man. Like that, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Just chill.
He literally just wrestled like literally a month ago. It's like he did a lot. He must have trained. He must have worked out. He must have done a lot to build for that. So, like, when people talk about it, like, come on, guys, just have more respect.
Yeah.
But with those injury corner out of the way, we have a positive to talk about. We have contract negotiations. We have one of the first ones to talk about is Keith Lee is fine to come back to AEW. I'll throw this first to Watkins since I haven't kept up with my AEW, who's in the roster still, what's going on. So Watkins, take us here.
I mean, Keith Lee's been out for a while now. Like God, I don't remember the last time he was on AEW television. But I mean, I know he had some health issues going on, but it's nice to see because so somebody had tweeted at Keith Lee saying, "You are missed on TV, but we know you're doing what's important and taking care of yourself. God bless you, brother." And Keith Lee had quote retweeted this saying, "Again, I am quite fine. It is not up to me when it comes to a return, but blessings to you as well." So not only is he just staying very humble
and very respectful.
Oh yeah, Keith Lee seems like the nicest. I mean, you take one look at him, and he's just a little teddy bear until he gets pissed off, and then he becomes a horrifying bear. Almost very similar to a cocaine bear, but that's besides the point. It's just nice to see that he's doing well. He probably doesn't just fit into the AEW plans right now,
Yeah.
which it kind of sucks. You know, I mean, companies are like that. WWE is just the same way as well. If he was to make a return, honestly, I would put him in that Casino Gauntlet match at All In, just because. Why not?
Ooh, that'd be a nice surprise. That'd be a nice
Yeah.
surprise.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see Keith Lee back because the dude is a beast. Like, you take one look at him and be like, oh, you can't do anything. Nah, this dude's doing flips, doing freaking top rope planchas and all that on people. Like, nah, Keith Lee is the man. Plus, a lot of his finishing and signature moves are based off of anime. Like, oh, I don't know, the Spirit Bomb literally has a move called the Spirit Bomb, and I forgot the name of the other move. It was shoot. Oh, it's also got a really good name besides Spirit Bomb. But that's besides the point. That I just want you back, Keith Lee. You're a great guy. That's all I got.
Yeah, I'm hoping the best for him because I mean I loved seeing him when he was there, and it's unfortunate that the way life works sometimes. But I'm hoping for the best for him, hoping things can come together so he can get in the ring again and do what he does best. And I'm pretty sure Michin's doing whatever she can to help her husband out. So
Yeah.
that's another thing to take into account as well. So
Agreed.
yeah.
On that relation, because we have somebody else that when we heard a month or so ago that when some people got released, some people actually chose to leave, and that is Eddy Thorpe was part of a group of NXT stars who were released. But according to the man himself, this was his own desire. He asked because a few fans on Twitter got interacted with him, and Thorpe Rowe said that I asked for my release from the WWE so I could do something fucking meaningful with my life. I'm just quoting, guys. And Thorpe later added, saying that I set the goal to work there. I spent a decade working for it. I got it. And in my experience, I came to the conclusion that I didn't want to do it no more. So the former NXT star also pointed out what he perceived as his fairness, writing that no, WWE wouldn't let me DJ for free in Vegas on Mania weekend, where other talent got to make money on their outside venture. Example of up, down, down, and other parties that they have in those people in their outside ventures. And Thorpe is also right now in Hawaii out there with Dakota Kai. Just want to throw that out there because that's where he's right now traveling if you look on his timeline. So any thoughts about this? My quick thoughts is that Eddy Thorpe, I hope you're happy with what you do in life. I'm glad that you felt accomplished, that you got to the company you want to work in. You did it. You got it. And if you felt like, hey, this is not my thing no more, this is not the company I want to represent, I'd rather do something else, then, hey, all to you. Hopefully you're happy. That's the most important thing. As somebody who works in the industry, I've learned my pros and cons within the entertainment industry, and I know it's not perfect. It's very cutthroat, is what people say. You just gotta find the positive of, out of what you do, but you gotta find your happiness, and hopefully you do, my guy. That's my quick comments on his quote, on his thoughts on that he chose to leave and ask for his release. How about you guys?
I mean, he wants to bet on himself. More power to
True
you,
that.
dude.
Yeah, that's
I mean-
honestly all I have to really say too, because it's like they weren't really doing anything with him in NXT. He was just an enhancement talent. He was only there for like certain reasons. I mean, you even saw when he had that match of Oba and Trick, he was pretty much there just to get hit by a chair. And then Oba saw his opening. He used that chair on Trick, and then he managed to win the NXT title on that New Year's Evil show. And he had a couple matches with Trick. That's it. And then when he had an underground match with Trick, Trick just knocked him out within a couple seconds or so. So they clearly had no direction for this guy. So if he finds some sort of path, all to him. It's honestly all I have to really say about the guy. Honestly, I don't
Yeah.
have as much to say about this guy. Trust
No.
me.
I mean,
Chat.
he was just there. It's just like, oh,
Yeah.
you won against Trick. Like, even you were surprised at the moment
Yeah.
when he
I
won that
was.
strap match. It's just like,
I
wait,
was.
Eddy Thorpe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the way they book him, they never take him seriously. So the fact that they actually got a win
Yeah.
over a guy like that they are pushing and care about it, I was shocked.
Yeah. So, yeah, more power to you, dude.
Exactly. So with that be the case, Chad, you guys heard our injury report, our contract negotiation. Now we got a few topics to talk about left in the greater wrestling media, which is one is Cody Rhodes is in tail end of his time as a babyface. And what does this mean? Look, we have a whole quote to read, but more on the thoughts is that from Cultaholics is Cody Rhodes believed that he's at the tail end in his babyface running WWE. To keep it simple, he knows what the audience wants. He reads the online community. As one of the quote on his things, he said, "You'll know because X and Instagram will hate it because today's heels are like, oh, that's a cool heel. We're loving John Cena. No, if you're burying it or hate it, talking about it, how do you want to be on TV?" That's how what an actual bad guy is on screen and being the heel that's being represented. Another quote that is part of it, I think you will have a good solid year, maybe even 3 years, because I'm not changing until I'm changed. My hair is naturally dark. I don't know if I'll go back. But if The Rock had his way, I would have been changed already. So I think he sees something that maybe I don't see. And that's a very smart individual, so maybe I'll follow his lead. Or maybe not.
Oh, hopefully not.
Why did this man mention The Rock again? Don't know. But we're here
This
for
is
it.
the
Watkins,
final boss.
That's a red
how do you
flag
feel
right
about the
there.
final boss being mentioned still within the storyline, even though he has not been seen since Elimination Chamber?
Yeah. Now, I feel like a lot of stuff came out because this happened during this Fanatics Fest that they had this past week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like a lot came out of this because like we had this Rhea Ripley interview with Chris Van Vliet, which I do want to check out, like that and the Cody and KO podcast episode. Yeah, no, I could definitely see Cody probably in a year, like maybe after this next WrestleMania, maybe start kind of turning the gears on a heel Cody Rhodes because like we saw some of it when he left WWE and he was on his own. Like we saw like bits and pieces of it, especially during his time in New Japan against Kenny Omega. Like there was some heel work then there as well. And I think it wasn't TNA, it was somewhere else he was doing like some heel work. It might have been Raw, maybe Ring
Yeah,
of Honor. I
remember it was I remember him cutting a promo on Ring of Honor.
Okay, all right. So it was Ring of Honor then. Like heel Cody Rhodes is a menace. Like I'm just gonna throw that out there. He is a menace, and he will not hold anything back as a heel. So, and I think that's why people really want it. But I like how he makes his point here about people online and just how people anymore take heels, because that's the thing, like a lot of people love heels because they're actually characters. A lot of heels are justified as well, and they're able to actually kind of play upon themselves as well. So like him saying like, oh, that's a cool heel, loving, no, you're burying it and hate it and talking about how you don't want it on your TV. That's what an actual bad guy is. A good example of this, and I mean take this as you will or anything, is Ricochet right now in AEW. Because, like, I mean, you can ask whoever. Like, some people have like the go away heat when it comes to Ricochet. Other people are like, okay, you know what? I think I see where they're going with this character of his. I'm kind of in part with the latter here, where it's just like, okay, I see what you're getting at, because like you're purposefully being annoying with your shitty laugh of like that stuff, and like what you did last night on Dynamite, like just walking out of your tag match. Yeah, now you're being a detestable heel. I don't want you on my TV screen. That's what a heel should be. You should want to boo them. You should have to boo them and all that. And that's kind of what Cody's hinting at here. Is just like, look, if you guys want me to be a heel, I'll be a heel, but you're not gonna like it. Y'all are gonna hate me for it. Y'all are gonna boo me for it. In fact, to bring up AEW again, last week, and I meant to put this in here too. So apparently last week, after MJF had torn off Mystico's mask from AEW Grand Slam Mexico,
Yes.
he was actually confronted by somebody in a hotel room that was there to like kick his ass for that. Like that's that old school heel heat. That's like going up to what was a very popular. I just want to throw out Iron Sheik. That's like going up to Iron Sheik. No, better yet, Sergeant Slaughter when he turned heel like early 90s or whatever. And like people hated him for it because it's like in the middle of like this Desert Storm stuff and all that, like in Afghanistan and everything. And Sergeant Slaughter went from being like full on America to, oh, I'm a sympathize with these guys. It's like, oh no, you're like getting legit death threats from people. People like hotels are turning you away. Like things like that are happening. Like that's that old school heel heat. And that's something that's missing in today's wrestling because it's like, yeah, we all, and I'm going on a tangent here, but fudge it. It's Thursday. It's almost the weekend. We got this, everybody. But like that's just something that's missing in today's wrestling. Is just like that old school heel mentality of like, yeah, you know what? Fuck you, man. Like purely and honestly, just go eat a solid bag of rotten tomatoes.
Crazy.
Yeah, I almost said another word instead of tomatoes, so I'm somewhat censoring myself right now. But that's besides the point. Drop, do you have anything to add to all that?
I mean, when the time comes and it makes sense, I'm all for it. But I feel like as of now, I'll wait to see where things go because there's also a part of me where it's like I know how Cody is, so I don't know if I should really take what he said seriously because he sometimes likes walking around these kinds of questions because people always ask him stuff like this all the time. Like even when the whole thing that happened with The Rock and he had interviews surrounding that whole thing, he ended up giving like similar responses of like, oh, it could happen, it could not, pretty much just playing into it because obviously they don't want to reveal everything. But my only thing with this is if they do it, they need to have somebody to take his place as like that babyface figure. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it because at least when Roman did it, you had a lot of guys that was able to follow the tracks that were able to actually keep up with him. I don't really know if there's anybody there, and if I were to do it, I would probably try to do it with like trying to establish some sort of new guy that's getting a lot of hype around him because that would be one of the best things to do. You got your top star right here, and you got an upcoming star. I would try to throw that upcoming star against this version of Cody Rhodes. That way, he could take that momentum from Cody and help build his character if they go down that direction. So if they do it, I would play it smart because at the end of the day, you know, they talked about the whole thing that we heard of earlier in the year where Cody didn't want to do it. Triple H wasn't a fan of it. And then they decided to go with John because Cody was their merch maker. And sometimes things don't always work out when it comes to switching your top star to the bad guy. It only worked to Roman because literally nobody gave a shit about him because how forced he was as a babyface. So once you had that more natural heel thing with him, just because of how Vince booked him, it just felt a lot better that way. But I'll wait to see what happens with this. As of now, I'll keep him as a babyface. I'll see where it goes because I think it's like I also look at it too, where it's like his time in AEW, where he was getting ridiculed a lot. He threw his belt out to the crowd. They threw it back. I don't know if he really wants to venture down that again because I know that actually did affect him a little bit. So you know, I'll just wait to see what happens with this.
Yeah, and I think a WWE crowd taking them as a heel would be way different than the AEW crowd because, like, that kind of like what you're saying. They kind of pushed it a little too much when they were going like pushing back on Cody because that's the other thing. Cody in AEW was still being pushed as a face, even though like he was. Even the people were just not liking him.
Yeah, because he had a rivalry with his brother. I believe they had a good rivalry, a good match with it.
that was like the beginning of it all. Like we're talking about more like
2021.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
like middle 2021 into like beginning stages of 2022.
I remember seeing it, but it's kind of blurred
Yeah,
because of the pandemic.
Wasn't there a promo he cut too before he left?
Yeah,
Yes,
it was before his ladder match with Sammy Guevara,
Yeah.
where he just like he went in and
yeah,
like,
for good straight 5-7 minutes, I think.
mhm,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think
So
he-
highly recommend looking up that one because like that's a good look at like what a heel Cody Rhodes could be. But like again, I would suggest looking up his New Japan stuff because that's where like his heel work and even like the Ring of Honor stuff too. Like that's where the heel work really started to go off and all that.
Chat, if you want to hear more about a couple of news, we have 5 more to discuss. And is TNA Abyss on if he will continue to wrestle again? I don't know much about Abyss, so I'm very vague about this character. Drop, what do you know?
I do know of Abyss. I wasn't around. Well, I don't even know if I really was around in that era because I was born in the late 90s. I was still a baby when all this stuff was going on, so I only ever saw his stuff when I was like growing up looking at videos on YouTube and stuff. But I do recall hearing something about I think I do actually recall hearing something where he was done wrestling, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe that's someone else.
From this quote from Sean Ross Sapp from Fightful, if he will ever continue to compete again, Abyss said the following: "To answer quite frankly, I'm done," said Abyss.
Yeah.
Physically, I don't have plans on wrestling again. Never say never, but I don't see it in the cards, nor do I want it in the cards. I'm so happy with what I'm doing and the last challenge that being a producer presents to me every day there. I'm so focused on that and being the best producer I can be. I had a great career with no regrets, nothing I would have changed. It was time to move on. And fortunately, I was lucky enough to be presented the opportunity to be a producer for the biggest and best wrestling company in the world. That to me was something I never saw coming. I never thought I was going to be a possibility. Just like I never thought this video game participation will be a possibility. That's what I'm focused on now, being the best producer I can be and contributing to the business that way. For those that don't know, that the TNA icon Abyss is a backstage producer in WWE since 2019 and has made appearing on TV as the former rival of AJ Styles back in 2020.
Yeah, so you remember the match between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre at the Bad Blood last year, right? The Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah, that was amazing. I assume that was produced by him.
Yeah, Abyss is known to create matches like that are like really over the top. They get really physical with one another, like he's produced. I believe WrestleMania 39, he also produced Gunther versus Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre. He also did that match as well. So when you see a lot of matches where the guys get a little crazy and they have their hands all over one another and they get a little violent and stuff, feels like a really physical wrestling match, that's him. Like you could easily tell straight off the bat if a match is a banger or anything along the lines of that. That's normally an Abyss match, because whenever somebody sees that Abyss is producing a match and they find out about it from Fightful or whatever, a lot of people get excited because he's known to fucking hit a home run and just go everywhere with those kind of matches.
Yeah.
Like anything surrounding a Gunther, wouldn't be surprised in the slightest whenever you get that Sheamus and Gunther match. He'll more than likely be behind that match itself producing it, because he does a lot of matches with those big guys, or just any match that fits that criteria. If it's some sort of stipulation or anything along the lines of that. Like another one he did as well, if I'm not mistaken, he did a match with, what was it? It was Riddle. Yeah, Sami Zayn and Riddle match on SmackDown that was also very well received a couple years ago as well. And Riddle, when you really get in the grooves with that guy, he could put on some pretty crazy matches like you saw with him and Seth Rollins a couple years ago. So I mean, he had a great career, like he said. He has no regrets and everything, but he's at the point where he just wants to focus on what he's doing now, and I honestly feel like that's the best thing for him, because I get the whole thing where it's like, yeah, you want to see your favorite guy wrestle again and everything, and trust me, I've been on that boat before, but at the same time, you could always go back, rewatch old matches, or just follow whatever they're doing now, and he's given us a lot of good content to talk about on our show. So I mean, I'm happy about that. So.
Yeah. Plus, now he's in WWE 2K25 in the latest DLC pack, available now.
Yeah.
Sir.
Like,
we got the next one is Hulk Hogan. Oh yeah,
no.
Open up a bar near Madison Square Garden. My answer: I don't give a fuck, and I'm not going. Anyway, who got thoughts?
but you live close to there, don't you? You could go see Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Don't you want
I
to go drink a
have
beer with
not
Hulk
one
Hogan?
single grain of salt, not a single grain of rice of cariness for Hulk Hogan. That's how little I don't even got. Not even 2 grains. Not even 3 grains. Not even 1. No fucks given.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I mean, Hooter, and he's doing something with Hooters too, right? He's trying to.
I think so.
I think he's trying to do something with Hooters, where he's trying to incorporate that company, and I feel like I think he's actually wants to sell his beer there.
Yeah.
So, because I remember hearing about that a couple months ago, he wants to do something with
But he
Hooters,
won?
wants to sell
Holy
his beer
shit.
there and everything. I mean, he's pretty much at the stage where he wants to build his own fucking amusement park. So,
I mean, fine. If you want to
Yeah.
build Hogan Land, and more power to you, it could be
Yeah.
right there next to
Nobody-
Eggman Land,
can't get over. He won't put everyone. He won't put anyone over.
Ooh. Oh, wait, no. I almost did a Macho Man thing.
Yeah,
Look
I'm
at
saying,
yourself,
that-
brother.
That's what I was trying not to do when I was doing the Hulk Hogan impression, not to sway too much into the Macho Man. It was hard.
That works for me, brother. Nah, the fact that, because I'm looking at the article right now, apparently it's going to be a 3-floor, 9,000 square foot bar worth $7 million
Wow.
just across the street from Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, for 3 floors, that's what I read. Yeah,
Mhm.
3 floors and 90,000 square foot. That's insane, man.
And it's going to be called Slam. Who wants to go get, okay, wait, hold on. The marketing.
Who wants to go get
person-
Slam?
Yeah.
Fuck,
Yo, you want-
Madison Square Garden. A lot of
Wait,
people
wait.
chill there. A lot of people will come out of the event and be like, "Yo, want to get more
Vash.
drinks? Let's go get
Vash.
Slam." And Madison Square Garden is right next to the Javits Center. Oh fuck!
Vash,
Oh,
I was
that's
gonna-
so
I'm gonna ask you, how close is it to where Anime NYC is gonna be?
That's the Javits Center. Watkins, it's en route. It's en route. Don't tell me
Is this
we're gonna
be
go.
open?
Don't
Wait,
tell me we're
if,
gonna go. Oh.
No. if it's open that weekend, we gotta go. We gotta go.
Hulk Hogan already owns his own bar. Hulk Hogan's hangout in Clearwater, Florida. His real American beer brand also recently submitted. Cultaholics is now what's up?
Oh, it's
Okay, that's
gonna
pretty cool.
open in the autumn. No, why can't you open
Autumn?
in August?
Oh no, it's not. Yeah, I was trying to find out like where does this say is open. Oh, right here. Yeah, the plans are open. New bar in autumn. Hopefully, like early autumn. Hopefully, like August,
Like
September.
August?
Hopefully they're ready. Be like, hey guys, by the chance, are you guys ready? Maybe,
No.
perhaps, maybe not.
I shit you not. If it is open that weekend,
I will
don't
go
care
for
what-
content. I will go
Yeah.
for content for
Oh my God,
pictures.
yes. Oh my
And for
God,
us to
yes.
actually say the most easiest catchphrase. Hey guys, let's go get Slam.
Oh, we're gonna get slammed, brother. Oh my god. Oh my god. Please,
Oh,
please. Hogan, if I asked you for anything, Hogan, besides say, go ahead and fall into a ditch, open up your new bar.
Yeah.
August
And it-
10th.
for a quick one day, we don't mind. Hey, but we have another
For like 20
event
minutes.
for a couple of news before we get to actual full AEW Dynamite coverage. We have AEW is running the Hammerstein Ballroom once again. They have learned through the sources that AEW is going to return to the Manhattan Center, the Hammerstein Ballroom, this December, like they did last year, to form great rave reviews. So in New York City, around the holiday, AEW will be back in the Hammerstein Ballroom. And guess what? I will be there, since now I'm aware. And I like AEW for what it is, and I've gone to the Hammerstein Ballroom. I do have connections there, so maybe I could sneak in, or maybe get some backstage access. So I do have some connections there.
Look.
Maybe we might get something. Maybe a nice vlog from Weebs of the Ring in the holiday season.
Look, if you get multiple tickets, I'll
Swing by in December.
make the trip. Yeah, I'll make the trip.
You swing by.
Especially if it's like the last 2 weeks of the year.
Yeah.
Because I'm off. I'm off.
That
the
is
last
true.
2
You
weeks.
are. Yeah.
So
I'll be like, yo, drop. Wanna come down?
Yeah, drop.
Wanna come down from north? Let's go.
Yeah.
we'll do a live. We'll do our first Dynamite episode live.
Oh, that'd be crazy. And Dynamite coverage. Hey guys,
That'd be
let's go to the Slam Bar and do a live coverage
God.
of the Weebs of the Ring.
AEW.
Yeah.
Hey,
Dynamite.
Hogan, how'd you feel about Dynamite tonight? Well, let me tell you something. They should have had me on the show, brother. I wouldn't have put anybody over, bro. You know what, brother? It would have been fine, brother, because all the Hulkamaniacs over there in AEW, brother, yeah, they love me, brother. It's like, cool, neat.
Drop. How do you feel about this? Are you excited for AW to come back to Manhattan Center? Are you excited to visit New York and maybe go to the event with us as well?
I mean, it's definitely a good place because they
Okay.
did it last year and the presentation looked really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy for them. That's a great place to be at.
Yeah. It really is, because, like, especially with, like, how they are pretty much low-key lately. You know, they've been doing smaller venues and all that, so it kind of that intimate setting has been it's been doing better for AEW, you know. So yeah, run the Hammerstein Ballroom again. More power to you, boys and girls.
More power to you. Because guess what? They have the power to do what? Be picky for signing former WWE talent. The reason for this report is due to the past situation over the past couple of talents that have signed with WWE. So before they return there, they want to make sure who they sign to AEW. And honestly, it's a smart choice. Tony Khan, stop spending your money because of whatever the fuck you want, whoever you want to sign. Pick the people you want, and if you want them to stay, how about treat them good? Just saying. Give them the benefits. Maybe pick them up at the airport because maybe they won't like that. Maybe they don't know the city. It'll be nice to have an Uber driver or a security person just pick them up at the airport. It'll be nice for them to feel like they're cared for, they're supported. Just saying. Right, Watkins?
Yeah, nah. Probably should have been more picky beforehand.
Yes,
Tony,
agree.
but,
You're
I
not
mean,
wrong. You're not wrong.
I get it. You know, maybe some people that you really like got released from WWE and you're just like, ooh, piece of candy. And you take it up and you're just like, oh, I'm going to use this candy. And then you taste it and it's just like, oh, wait, why is this lollipop popcorn flavored? I thought this would be better. Ew, gross, nasty. I'm going to throw this
I know
out.
we don't have it on the docket, but it wasn't for interview. Where what's her new name? Brooks Monray Brooks, I think is her new name. The girl that just got signed, I forgot her new name.
Oh, you're
so
talking about,
the old girl Mara May.
yeah.
I'm talking about her new name. I'm trying to be respectful, be consistent with the name, Brooks. But in her most recent clip that she quoted, on the timeline I saw her
Blake
quote was.
Cameron.
Can you repeat that?
Blake Cameron.
Blake Cameron. I'm gonna do my best to remember that. It feels. I'm gonna do it.
That is A-okay.
In the meantime, so I don't butcher, Mariah May in the most recent interview, why she got signed by WWE on NXT, her most recent quote also said that it's a blessing and I'm happy to be here. I was always meant to be here on WWE and I'm a star. Like, just to have her say that, just to have her literally say that after she already been appearing for the past 2-3 weeks now, it's just like, God damn it, Tony, I feel bad for you, my G. Just for her to say like, I was always meant to be here. I'm a star. I was meant to be here, etc. It's like, yeah, my guy, you fumbled this one as well.
Well, I mean, that's just a thing, like, and you kind of see this with CM Punk as well. It's really just the mentality of whatever the backstage is, because, like, everybody has a different opinion or they have a different experience, mainly the experience where they're at, you know, whether it's work, school, relationships, whatever. Like, you're going to have a different experience with different people. And that's just the case here with like AEW and WWE. Like these people, they want better for themselves. They want to win. They want to look strong. They want to look dominant. They want to look as best as they can be. But at the end of the day, you do have to do a job sometimes, and sometimes you have to lose and all that. And some people, like especially when you look at the realm of professional wrestling, there's a lot of egos in there. And if you're a fan of Blue Lock, you know exactly what it means to be the ultimate egoist. Because you got to have a strong ego. You got to have like this big mentality of like, I need to be the best because I am the best. And some people have that differently, whether it's WWE or AEW. Some people like want to be that. Some people are just fine with like being the comedy acts. That's where they get their kicks and all that, which is fine as well. But yeah, it's good that you're being picky now because you should be picky. You should have been picky before all of that.
Yes, definitely
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So
But
that's all I got to say about it.
You sure? Because I got one more question for you involving AEW. So stand by. One more question, and it is AEW reportedly plans to introduce the Women's Tag Title Championship that they created. They were reportedly created them a year ago, but have been ready to use them since then. They've been waiting for the right time for a fucking damn year, Watkins. How much more time can you wait on the booking?
Well,
aren't you the company that's writing the booking? Aren't you the one that's supposed to be writing the right time, the right opportunity to introduce this title that's been made for a year already?
Yeah, because like that's the thing. It's like, okay, you have them ready. Why are you waiting on them? Are you waiting to just like because that's the thing. Is he trying to like build his women's tag division, like a legit tag division? Which, I mean, if that's the case, cool.
Sure.
But I mean, it's been the thing with AEW is like it does a lot of slow burns to the point where it's just like, okay, can we just do this already?
Yeah, like it's so slow that people kind of forget it because that's what kind of hurts it. Because at times, I believe Ricochet or somebody interviewed a couple months ago, they or I think it was Will Ospreay or somebody, but they said that the slow burn is great, but sometimes you have to have the audience find like the callbacks from 2 3 years ago, 3 years ago, which that's great. But if you're an audience that kind of lose interest that's on and off, those slow burns kind of are tough to follow when it's like, dang, what the fuck, we still here? Like, what has been building up for a year? Unless the build has been consistent, then that's different. But if it's too slow, aka Austin Theory and Grayson Waller is one of the slowest burn that we've been complaining here on Weebs of the Ring since a year and a half ago, since WrestleMania 40. So like we've been asking like, hey guys, they won the titles. We know he's gonna eventually betray him, but hey, it's been for my clock, it's been a year and 3 months.
Yeah, and like the thing too is like AEW has the talent where they could actually utilize a tag division probably a lot better than WWE has.
I'm just confused with how they're gonna use it, since also they have Ring of Honor, they have Collision, and then they have the Dynamite. So like, I don't know how I understand why they're confused, but with the process of being that confused, is like maybe you should actually fix your programming, because you have Ring of Honor that you barely use and you buy. You also have contracts with New Japan and you barely use. So like, it's so inconsistent from their end of what they want to keep and contain.
Well, they have an interesting contract system where it's like people can work indies or like New Japan. They have like a partnership with New Japan and all that stuff. So like that's with that. And like when you think of like Raw and Collision, think of Collision like their SmackDown and like Raw as their NXT, where it's like that's kind of the hierarchy, if you will. But I mean, people don't really. I mean, I don't watch Collision. I know people do. Like a lot of the hardcore people do, which is fine.
Which I give props to them. I would give props to y'all.
But it's really just like, because they don't have like a brand split at all with it. It's really just like, okay, well, we're gonna have like, for example, like a lot of the Tony Storm, Mercedes money, build for All In has been on Collision. So it's like, okay, they're trying to, build the audience for Collision, make people watch Collision. It's like, okay, I get that, I understand that, but yeah, it's also on a Saturday, except for tonight. Tonight it was on at 8 p.m. So hey, maybe people watch Collision tonight because it's on a decent time of the week. So yeah, they have this, like, they utilize their space enough, because again, they're trying to get people to watch different programming and trying to get you to tune in. Like, I get the business mindset of it, but it's just like, it's hit or miss. But that's just me again. But when it comes to like adding another title, because like they're gonna be getting rid of one title here soon.
Yeah, because of the unification match.
Exactly, and again, like, I mean, if they add more titles, great, awesome. The titles are already floating anyways. And when it comes to Ring of Honor, they would probably just have like a women's tag team from Ring of Honor go for those tag team titles in AEW. Because again, they just cross promote anyways a lot. That not as much as they used to, thank God.
Yeah, not as much as they used to. They used to a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I do think AEW could utilize them pretty well, and like I said earlier, probably a little better than WWE has in the past, what, 7 years?
That, and also Raquel and Liv haven't defended the title since the day after Raw, after Mania.
Yeah, so there's that too. But like that's the other thing, is just like I could at least think of like 3 teams off the top of my head in AEW for those titles. I mean, there's Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. There's Sky Blue and shoot, now I'm blanking on the name. Julia Hart. There's, I mean, Harley Cameron's out right now, but like her and Anna Jay were a thing. But Ty Conti's back too. So like, there's women to utilize on roster for tag team division. A lot more than you're doing with like your TBS title, and I mean your women's world championship is. It's just with Mercedes there. That's
a 6-title winner. She's a 6-title holder. 6-title CEO. CEO.
The fact that she might win another one pains me, but yeah, I mean, I think AEW could do them well. They could. That's the biggest thing. They could. You just got to do it. That's all I got.
That'd be the biggest thing. With this transition, we have
many tangents for me tonight. Sorry.
No, it's okay, because we're not alone here. We got boy Bubba Ray, aka Bubba Ray Dudley, here out source from Cutaholics, is open to the idea of reforming the Dudley Boyz tag team with a kayfabe half-brother Devon for one last WWE match. During a recent interview with the TV Insider, Billy was asked whether we're going to see the Dudley Boyz in a W ring one day, or to which he replied, would you like to see the Dudley Boyz in W ring one day? When the interviewer asked, in the affirmation, W Hall of Famer added, I think the entire W universe would love to scream, Diva, get the tables! One last time. If it will be up to me and Diva, it will be a yes. We would love to do it one last time. It has to be one with the right team standing across from us. It has to be the right venue, city, right van. How I'd love to do it at AT&T Stadium in Texas with 101,000 people screaming at me one last time. Devon, get the tables! Bubba and Devon, first WWE run lasted from 1999 to 2005. They returned for another run between 2015 and 2016. Bully recently spoke about how his team booking during the last run left a bad taste in his mouth. Wonder why, who it was it for, but should they reunite? Old foes, the Harleys, are also within TNA. Would we like to see one last run with the Hardys versus the Dudleys? Is that a question that you would like to see, Watkins?
I mean, it wouldn't be like it would have been in the past, but I mean, why not? They could still go. Why not? Go for it one more time. Do it. Are you looking at Sydney, like, flipping?
Yeah. I just see her playing with the flag, and I'm like, is she like trying to get at the right spot? What's she trying to find?
No, that's the thing. So, little quick tangent, because I mean, I would love to see the Dudley Boyz. Of cool, neat, great.
Yes,
It
same
would be
here,
fun.
chat. That's straight up. It'd be great to
Sydney-
have them. It happens.
Sydney likes to get under blankets, so. Right,
That's
girl?
so cute. I've tried to get my dog under blankets, but she never has been for it. Like girl with like a pillow, but never a blanket. She's like,
Oh,
eh.
yeah. Oh, dude, Sydney will like. It'll be funny because she'll get under blankets, and I'll kind of forget. Like, wait, where are you, Sydney? Where are you? And she'll like.
Like pop up, be like, hey, what's
like,
up?
I'll be like, what? I was just sleeping, Dad. And just like, all right, just making sure you're still alive. She's like, can we go outside? And I'm like, stop. You were just out there.
But for that, chat, if you have pets that also want to share the beautiful images, the beautiful how great they are, check out the Discord link down below in the description because we do have a community. We have a Discord server that we share pictures, share our food. Your boy here ate some chicken tendies with some waffles and some cheese on it with some maple syrup. So go check it out. Beautiful picture. But with this crazy example of a transition, if you like what to eat and if you enjoy your appetite and like to watch 3 hours, 4 hour and a 10 match card, we have AEW Dynamite.
Yeah. Nah, we were at it was a normal Dynamite this week, It's still 2 hours. A little over 2 hours. Just a slight little bit.
That's why I said almost 3 hours or 4 hour with a 10 title card.
It was like 2 hours and 10 minutes. So that's besides the point.
Here is our turnbuckle tidbits where Watkins, who is the only that watches AEW content and actually watch it, by the second, by the minute, talk to us how the actual event went. Was it actually worth it? Was it good compared to Mexico last week when we had our boy Hangman did a whole Spanish type of promo, which I give props to him.
Oh yeah, nah, definitely look up that promo. That shit was good.
I was impressed. I was very impressed by him. I was very impressed. That man did a 5-minute promo much better than I could ever do a 5-minute promo involving anything Animal Weave Studio related or / Weebs of the Ring related. Cannot do a 5-minute promo in Spanish. Hell no. I was impressed. I was envious, and I was proud, but envious so much.
Nah, he worked on it for him. It's fine. Dynamite this week. It was alright. It was okay. A few good things here and there, and a few things like that's fine, but it was okay. So the night actually started off pretty hot. We had Mercedes Moné just beating up Toni Storm and just giving her some licks back and all that. Nothing much to go on there. Just a pull apart brawl, basically. You've seen one, you basically seen them all. And yeah, this is going to be their build for All In. Again, haven't seen or heard what happened on Collision yet, so I don't know if they did more on there. What up, Gas Mask? I see you out there in the chat. Great, awesome. The next match. So Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay were going to take on Blake Christian and Lee Johnson, or as I'm liking to call them anymore, the enhancement talent of AEW, because that's basically what they are. They're just enhancement talent for Dynamite, Collision, whatever show they're on that's not Ring of Honor.
Also, that is a nice combo. Like Swerve and Spray, that's a beautiful combo.
Oh yeah. Oh dude, them as a team was kind of sick. Like this is one of the highlights of last night was just seeing these two kind of team up. Like it was very fun to watch. Like I think it was like the end of the match with this. Swerve, like, he did basically his whole like Matrix thing and then a kip up. But like when he went back, that was when Ospreay like ran like over him to hit the hidden blade on I think it was Lee Johnson he hit it on. And then Swerve just kicks back up. Nah, that shit was sick. That was a good spot. But the main thing to come with this, two things. Because right now they're kind of feuding with the Bucks because of this whole like Bucks, Death Rider kind of thing. So the Young Bucks decided, hey, since we're EVPs and leaders here, this tag match you guys have tonight, yeah, it's starting the show, so you might want to get out there right now. So good moments of like Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland like quickly getting like their stuff on. Like you have Will Ospreay running to the ring, like taping his hands up and like putting his elbow pad on and all that. So like good on them with that, with like that kind of storytelling. But I mean, again, you got jobber team here. They're gonna lose to Swerve and Will Ospreay. And after they beat up some security guards, Swerve Strickland is hereby suspended for a week and all that. But the Young Bucks get challenged to a match at All In against Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland. But the caveat with this is the Bucks have to step down as EVPs if they lose. So this is interesting here because like we're at this point now where like AEW could really do like almost a hard reset on themselves as a company, where it's like All In, they could have the Young Bucks lose and step down as EVPs. Because if you looked at some news stories recently, they've been looking at wanting to start their own indie promotion, so they could maybe step away from AEW for a bit, focus on whatever else they want to do, other projects and all that, and have some other people, maybe lead the company in a different direction. But like, yeah, at All In, they have a good chance to hit a hard reset for a lot of people. 'Cause I know people have, died down a little bit with AEW. I get it. I understand it. I was one of those people as well. They're on a bit of an upswing, but not like a massive one where it's like, oh my God, they're doing amazing things. It's like, there's good things here and there, but like, you guys still got a lot of stuff to work on and all that. And I mean, this is one of them. They're at least like adding something to this story, adding some sort of stakes to this tag match where it's like, okay, we can basically, to kind of quote WWE here, we can basically end the Authority here, and just move on with our lives and all. But that was like the biggest takeaway, basically, of the night for me, at least. Was just this match and just anything leading up to it. Next on the card, we had Kota Ibushi taking on Trent Beretta. Kota Ibushi coming back from an injury and all that. Match slapped. I mean, that's just par for the course when it comes to AEW. Match slapped. It was pretty good. Kota Ibushi again picking up the win, and Okada actually comes out, and they kind of have a bit of a stare down, and we get told that we're going to get Kota Ibushi versus Okada next week on Dynamite. So that's going to be our lead in towards All In for Okada and Omega's match at All In, because of the ties with Kota Ibushi. So looking forward to that match. That match is hit as long as Okada's there to work. But just like a couple other things to kind of branch off of this too. Oh, like we had a backstage segment with Okada bringing up the Don Callis family to the Young Bucks. And I guess they're having like a loose alliance with everybody, which is weird because now we have like, because when you kind of take a step back and you look at it, you're like, huh. So the Young Bucks are normally aligned with the Death Riders, but now they're kind of aligned with the Don Callis, which means in turn, somehow the Don Callis family is also aligned with the Death Riders. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird like mental gymnastics right there with that, but like, I don't know. It's just a little weird for me with having a lot of these heel teams basically being aligned with each. Blah, 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 blah. But hey, we got a tag team match next, everybody, because Ricochet, he's still trying to form his group, trying to find the people that he wants to have be part of it. And he runs into AR Fox in the back. He's like, hey, man, we have some history together. We used to do some stuff on the indies and all that. Let's have a tag team match tonight. And they end up taking on the team of Speedball Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight, who have been teaming for the past like month or so and like kind of building some momentum for each. But they're able to beat Ricochet and AR Fox. I mean, again, great spots throughout the night. I think there was one where AR Fox, like, he did this flip through the ropes and like did this double stomp onto, I think it was Kevin Knight, and then he did, just this plancha flip onto Speedball Mike Bailey outside of the ring. Cool spot, awesome, great. But Ricochet kind of walked away from the match. He was basically done. He's just like, I'm not taking this. We're done. We don't need it. So Speedball and Kevin Knight end up picking up the win. Afterwards, they call it the Hurt Syndicate because they want a tag team match for the tag titles. But Bobby and Shelton beat them down, put them both through a table, and MJF basically yells, "Hey, if you guys can get up, then maybe you can face these two boys at All In for the tag." So I guess that's going to be the tag team title match. Which,
I have a question.
yeah.
How has the out of your perspective, since the Hurt Syndicate joined, how have they been doing for you in your perspective on the booking, on the storytelling since they joined and everything? Because it's been since January. No, I think I believe since January of this year or earlier last year. I mean, late last year they joined. So, have any quick thoughts of how have they been doing so far?
I mean, they're booked very strong. I mean, I'll say
Yeah,
much.
like I feel like they don't have much kryptonite. Like I feel like they're very solid.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's kind of hard to say, oh, who's the weaker member between the two, because like normally with a tag team, it's like, okay, this one guy's not as good as the other one, so this one guy's probably gonna be taking the falls.
Yeah.
And it kind of sucks to be like, oh, well, Shelton Benjamin's kind of that guy when it comes to the Hurt Syndicate. But it's like, even still, you kind of feel weird saying that because Shelton Benjamin himself is really good and all that. And I mean, Bobby Lashley, he's freaking Bobby Lashley.
Yep. So like he's a name of his own. Like he's been there in the Indies and already back in TNA, so he has his own thing. But just curious to know, because since I haven't been consistent with watching AEW and I've just been here with you doing the coverage and also seeing clips, I just want to hear your perspective on that part.
I mean, they're definitely over with the crowd. Like the crowd is singing, "We hurt people. We hurt."
Really?
people.
Is that the catchphrase of them? We hurt people. Wow.
Yeah.
It sounds kind
of
of.
course.
It sounds alright. We hurt people.
Well, that's the thing. That's how they kind of were in WWE when they were in the business to hurt people.
Yeah. True.
Trademark. And no, MVP, I'm not paying you that $5. You can...
By the way, side comment as well. When you wrote Jet Speed, I thought you wrote ISO Speed at first. No lie, I'm not joking.
He's busy right now. He's busy right now with Kai Cenat, beating all the Mario games right now.
Yeah, which by the way, chat.
Is that what they're doing right now?
Yeah, they've been doing that since the morning of yesterday, I believe.
Yeah.
They've been going at it. I was watching
every Mario game.
Yeah, they're on the Wii version right now. Well, when I saw earlier, I don't know which one they're on now because they've been going nonstop. But they was on the Wii version that me and Job was watching, and it's pretty cool.
I might have to tune in here in a little bit after we're done. I might have to turn that on real quick.
I'm actually gonna check to see if they're still
on. Power. Next week he's got a qualifying match to get into the casino not battle royal. This is the casino gauntlet match. Yeah, so cool. MJF is possibly moving up the card a little bit more. Mark Briscoe comes out because he's got a match here soon, and he starts calling out MJF. And I think the biggest takeaway from this, I do recommend going back to because that's the thing. Mark Briscoe has really been growing on me as a talent. Go back and listen to his promo because he basically he makes this comment about how the word of the day is empathy, and I'm trying to have some empathy for you, MJF. And then he basically says that MJF is lacking and his diminishing coach.
The shit thing is, for those who know, I'm from New York and everything. We all have our own circle, community, squads, and everything like that. But just seeing 3 or 4 black friends and you have the one white dude, and it feels so obvious. Dude. Sure, yeah,
MJF is that white guy who's yeah, I have black.
Yeah, yep.
It's do you? But no, I think I love this moment because it cuts back to the ring And like you have MJF like kind of be goaded into this, but like Bobby Lashley actually kind of breaks. He like turns his head and you can see him like cracking a smile. Like it broke him a little bit. It was great. But after that, we had a match, a fatal 4-way match, between 4 men that were going to be in the Casino Gauntlet match. This was for the number 1 spot for it. So if you don't know the rules of the Casino Gauntlet, and correct me if I'm wrong with some of this too. But basically, it's almost like the Royal Rumble in a way, where it's like 2 guys start the match, and like there's a certain number of people that are gonna be part of the match, and they come in every so often, like every like couple minutes or so. But the thing is, the match can end at any point. So not everybody has to be in the match. So like let's say there's 5 people for this gauntlet match. The match could end at person 3. Like if there's a pinfall or submission.
Yep.
So like getting that number 1 spot is crucial, because if you're able to beat just the first person that's out there, match is over. You don't have to worry about everybody else who's out. Like it's basically done and over with. Great, awesome. Thanks for the squash match, dude. So yeah, very coveted spot. So we had 2 of these matches tonight, one for the men and one for the women's. The men's had Mark Briscoe taking on Roderick Strong, Bandito, and Takeshita. It was a good match. I think there was a great spot with Takeshita hitting like a double German on 2 of the guys. But match ends, Mark Briscoe pulls out the win, so he's going to be the first one in this Casino Gauntlet match. I'm kind of hoping it's him and MJF that starts it. I think that'll be great, kind of like pushing whatever story they're telling with that. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this Casino Gauntlet match. And for the women's side, we had their match after this, where we had Chris Statlander taking on Willow Nightingale, Athena, and Thunder Rosa. Match was fine. Match was good. Ends with Statlander picking up the win. Now, the kicker with this, though, is Marina Shafir came out, who was part of the Death Riders. Apparently, there's been some build-up with the Death Riders and Chris Statlander, where, like, they are talking to her and all that stuff, and Chris Statlander is, like, she hasn't, like, given them a full response, but the fact that, like, Marina Shafir even came out during this match and kind of ran some sort of interference, I don't know what's going to happen, everybody, but anything can happen here. Oh my god, it's kind of laughable that this is the main event, but
He's Mortos. That's a crazy name as well.
Oh yeah, famous luchador.
Yeah, I wonder how he got that main event match.
Gee, I wonder how. I mean, just look at the opening of tonight and the news of who's going out with who, and like, come on, you can't see reports like that. You can't see posts like they're not being shy about it either. Like you could, they what was it? Mercedes even came out last week and said that they were.
Yep.
Like her. Oh my gosh, it's baffling. It'll be amazing. I would love to see people who are like saying, "Oh, it's just coincidence this week." If next week Beast Mortos is in the main event, like no matter what that main event.
Yeah, this time
is.
he's
But
going to be
anyways,
there with Ospreay.
Oh my god, Beast Mortos versus Ospreay, no DQ. It's like, oh great, thanks. Hopefully it's better than this match was, because yeah, this one. I mean, it was fine. A bit slow for AEW standards, if I'm being honest. But I mean, the real kicker with this is just what happened after the match, where the lights go out. You had the Young Bucks coming out, hit the EVP trigger on Hangman, officially like ending their little relationship with him. Death Riders come out to choke out Hangman, and the faces were so late to come out to help this guy, who they claim is, hey, the best person we have right now to take out John Moxley. You're gonna wait so long to just save him? All right, cool, great, fantastic. And the end of Dynamite was the weakest part. Like, this sucked. This was just like that wet blanket that you just throw on that's been on top of your dog for like 3 hours after a torrential downpour rain. Like, man, I don't know, man. That was Dynamite. I mean, some cool things, some okay things here and there. I probably talked about a few things a little bit more than I initially wanted to, but hey, that's just the nature of doing shows like this and all that.
I do hope our audience enjoys your AEW conversation, because even though I don't watch it, I do get interested hearing it, and just to at least keep up to date of what's going on within the world of pro wrestling outside of WWE, at least within AEW. So that's something that's pretty cool.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, kind of stay tuned, because like maybe starting around All In, there might be more AEW channel. Stand by for that.
I'm here for love it.
Yeah.
So for this to be the AEW conclusion of Dynamite, now we got the last thing for our show. We're gonna hear a rapid fire, because I know Drop is like, yo, I'm ready to talk about this. Is the NXT that happened on this Tuesday, June 24th, January, June 24th, on this past Tuesday. So, Drop, talk to us. How was it when Trick Williams did this reversal out of this chokeslam and did a whole flip?
Yeah, so I'm not going to spend too much time on like certain matches. I basically want to talk about the stuff that like matters on the show. So you pretty much had Trick open up the show with Josh Briggs, because initially you had Inamura. There was a match that took place last week, and he actually pinned Trick in that match. So you would think by default he would end up having to go up against him the following week for the NXT Championship. But I mean, not the NXT Championship, the TNA Championship. But what ended up happening is that Inamura actually gave his chance to go after that title to Josh Briggs. So they ended up having a match here. And this match here, honestly, was just here to showcase Josh Briggs, because Josh Briggs has had some good matches in the past, and probably the best thing really going for him right now is his whole partnership with Inamura, which is a talent from Noah. So this was just basically here to showcase Briggs, to show us what he's capable of doing and everything. But the real meat and potatoes here is what happened towards the end of the match, where we had Trick Williams get caught off guard by Joe Hendry. And pretty much what happened is that you had his music play, and then he ended up doing a sneak attack
from the back.
Yep, and then he ended up having a match set up for Slammiversary, where it's Trick versus Joe Hendry for the TNA Championship. Because the whole story here really is that the people from TNA want to get the title back from Trick, because he's an NXT guy, he's from WWE, then they don't really like him walking around with their title, at least the people that care for it. Obviously, not everybody in TNA is going to care. Like, the heels aren't going to give a shit. But one of the things I am hoping to come out of this Slammiversary is I'm hoping you throw Mike Santana in there, because he's been absent ever since that attack that happened a couple weeks ago, where it was Trick and Top Dollar, and then I forgot the name of the other guy. But it's like, he's from New York, and a lot of people are talking online saying that's probably the best chance to really give him a homecoming moment when it comes to him competing for the top prize in his where he's from. So I'm hoping sooner or later maybe this turns into a triple threat match, because I mean, we've seen Trick and Joe Hendry a couple times. We saw it recently a couple months ago, which is why Trick has the title. And also Mike Santana made an admission statement that, you know, he's going to do everything he possibly can to come after this title. And this is something he said initially when they first had their promo segment. So we haven't really seen anything from Mike Santana ever since. So I'm hoping he factors into this and makes sense, because I feel like he should be the one to win this title. And it just, next month in Slammiversary, where it's taking place in New York, I mean, you got to give the guy a bone, because I don't expect Trick to hold on to this title for like 5 to 6 months or so. I feel like more than likely he'll drop it to Santana whenever he makes his appearance again, which we still have, you know, weeks away until that show. So I'm hoping he shows up sooner or later, because that's definitely a name I want to see on the television again. And then for the next match we had, it was Javon against Tavian Heights, and pretty much the whole story of this match. And I write little plot points on here, but once I see the plot points, I can break down things a lot more in my head. But pretty much the whole story of this match itself is that you had Tavian Heights going up against Javon Evans, because this is a similar situation with Miles Bourne when Miles Bourne went up against Charles, which Ren loves calling him. And pretty much with this match itself, it's a similar situation where it was at Miles, where if Miles ended up being Charles Dempsey, he was able to leave the No Quarter Catch crew and he was able to go off and do his own thing. This is essentially what this is, but it was for Tavian Heights, where if he happened to win against Javon in this match itself, then Charles Dempsey would allow him to go on his own. But you already had Miles go off on his own, so I didn't really think Tavian Heights was going to go off on his own, even though he is a really good talent. I didn't expect him to win this match itself. But it was a good match to showcase Tavian Heights, again, like how the match or Trick was there to really help showcase Josh Briggs. So whenever they decided to venture down that route and give the spotlight to these guys, if they want to create other stars, it's there. But I'm hoping sooner or later, you know, we have Tavian Heights break out on his own, because I know that's definitely one of the underrated talents that's on the card that a lot of people really want to see more of. But we ended up seeing Jasper Troy show up towards the end of this match. So he didn't cause a disqualification or anything. This was actually a common trend that actually happens, and I'll mention it again when it comes to this coverage too. But he ended up attacking Javon afterwards, and then they also have a match set up for next week. So I would assume Jasper Troy's going to win that just to get more momentum under his belt. But after that, we end up seeing Ricky Saints go up against Ashante Adonis. And Ashante Adonis, essentially, I mean, I don't really know what's going on with this guy, because things...
Yeah, he's been confusing because he was going after like two girls, right? I believe he was trying to go for Lion, and then he was going for another girl. He was trying to be like HBK, trying to give flowers to others, trying to move, I think.
Yeah, because
but then it fell off.
I know one of them was Nikita Lyons, and then I know one of them, forgot her name, but she's the girl that comes out with the sword. I think it was like
Carmen Petrovic.
Yeah, Carmen Petrovic. It was her. Yeah. And then it ended up something happens. I think he ended up costing her. It might have been when he I don't know if it was the match where she went up against Stephanie or something. Like he pretty much cost her like an opportunity. I don't know if it was number one contendership or a championship match, and they pretty much split things apart from there. Mm-hmm. But this match itself, honestly, I mean, the guy's a meme. You can't really take him seriously. So like, when I saw Ricky Saints go up against him, and they pretty much just had this match set up because Ashante was just trying to, talk all tough like the following week because of Ricky's situation and everything. But Ricky Saints was able to defeat Ashante Adonis, and then Ricky ends up getting caught off guard by Ethan Page again, where he ends up attacking him. He was going to go for his finisher, the Twisted Grin, which is essentially what you call the twist of fate, but it fits his character because he has the whole smiling thing. You have the whole twisted grin, the way that he did it, the way that he does his move, it makes a lot of sense. But we end up seeing like a segment later in the night where we have Ava come across Ethan Page in the back questioning, why he's doing what he's doing and why Ricky's doing what he's doing. Like, she's just very frustrated seeing all the chaos going on, which is something she has to deal with all the time when it comes to Dark State attacking people, because I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if that was probably the people who attacked Hank and Tank. Never really got an answer who attacked them, but their whole mission statement is just attacking people. So I would assume sooner or later probably get a shot at those titles. But yeah, they're supposed to meet with Ava next week. So if I had to make a prediction, I would assume there's going to be a match set up between Ricky Saints and Ethan Page at the Great American Bash, because that's the next PLE for NXT that we're going to be seeing. So probably end up seeing things take place between those two guys there. And the next segment itself, we get to see our NXT champion, Oba Femi. And he pretty much came out and he was talking about Inamura, which is Josh Briggs' tag partner that I mentioned earlier. And a lot of people seem to really like Inamura here in NXT because I never followed his work in Noah. I don't really watch Noah programming, but I did hear from a lot of people that he really wasn't used well there. He was kind of just there in the background. He had his matches or whatever, but he really wasn't somebody that really stood out or anything. But because of, you know, what happened with Josh Briggs and how he had that match with Trick, they had this whole meeting last week where it's like, okay, you go after the TNA title from Trick, I'll go after the main prize on here, which is the NXT title. So that's why Oba ended up issuing a challenge to Inamura, which I feel like will probably be a really good match between the two, because I don't know if you guys ever seen his frog splash from the top rope, where like he shakes the ring and then he goes, he dives off onto his opponent. It's almost like you're like at a pool and you have the board and you're like measuring yourself before you jump in and you hop off the board. He pretty much like shakes the ring, then he hops off.
Okay. Yeah,
And
I think I'm getting like a good picture of it. I'll have to look it up after this.
it's honestly, it's actually like a belly flop, if I have to put it that way. It's like that's essentially what it is. It's like he gets himself excited. It's like he shakes the ropes and everything. It's kind of like a belly flop, and it's pretty funny because it's like, this is like him. He's like shaking himself. It's almost like he has his whole like arms and legs spread out like this, and he lands on his opponent. That's essentially his finisher. But you're gonna have that match between him and Oba at the Great American Bash, which should be a really good match. Happy he's just getting that moment in general, because like I said, he doesn't get as much focus in Noah, so he's getting it here, which is pretty cool. So I am happy to see that, because I do like the guy whenever he shows up, and he's definitely over because people care about him. Like when he came back, I think it was during Battleground, I forgot what match it was. He ended up, I think there was something that was going on with the culling, and he took the chair from, I forgot the name of the girl, the group, but he ended up taking the chair from her. You just saw someone's arm in the background, and then you saw him, and then everybody was going crazy because he said he was leaving to head back, but he ended up just trolling everybody. But yeah, that's a good moment for him. And again, like I said earlier, ongoing trend, Jasper Troy attacks Inamura. So I don't know if this is going to be Oba versus Inamura. I don't know if it's going to be a triple threat match of some kind. Maybe that's here, because I don't know why you would leave Jasper Troy off the card unless you want to create a program between him and Javon Evans. But we'll have to see where things go from there, because I guess we got like a week or so before we get to the Great American Bash. The next match we had was Stacks against Tony D'Angelo, and this was for the Heritage Cup. And if you guys recall, Noam Dar actually came back a few weeks ago, and he actually won the match when he went up against Lexus King. And the unfortunate thing that happened, and I don't remember what day this was said when I came across it on Twitter, but Noam Dar actually ended up getting injured again, which is why this match was just up in the air when it came to, you know, it was a vacant Heritage Cup, so whoever won in this match itself pretty much got the prize there. And essentially, like the way that these Heritage Cup matches work, it's almost like a round of boxing in a way, where it's like whoever gets the most wins ends up winning the match. And they don't really tend to go too long. Like normally it's like, okay, I get a win over you, get a win over me, or
it's usually about 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's normally around like 3 to 5 minutes or so, around there, because I think it's like around 3 minutes each. But essentially it's like, let's say somebody has like, I got a win over you, got a win over me, or I got 2 wins over you, got 2 wins over me, something along the lines of that. Whoever pretty much breaks that tie that they have wins the match. And because of shenanigans that happened with Stacks' new group that he has, which just looked like lackeys to me, but they were out there in the ring. And then you had Luca there, which you had this ongoing story where Tony D'Angelo thinks that Luca's doing things behind his back with Stacks, but he doesn't really know if he should believe Luca or not. Luca's just acting like himself. So it's pretty much one of those situations where there's a lot of drama going around, and Tony doesn't really know what to believe because everything that's going on. And because Luca was trying to prevent the other guys from outside the ring to interfere in the match itself, he ended up hitting Tony D'Angelo in the back of the head with like one of those trash cans, and then he ended up falling unconscious like on the mat itself, and then Stacks just hit his finisher and he won the match and he got the Heritage Cup. And then after the match itself, you had Tony D'Angelo, eventually get up, and then he ended up just socking Luca across the face, out of aggression, which, knowing the kind of group they are, knowing how they are Italians, I mean, they're just no surprise there that Tony was gonna sock him because of that, because obviously he could have had the Heritage Cup, things didn't go in his favor.
Yeah, and even if you weren't planning on doing that, hey man, you freaking hit me with a damn trash can. Like,
Tony D gets to have this as his type of singles run down the line, because I want him to become its own. Because I enjoy Tony D. I don't know how the general audience, but I know drop as well. So I would love for Tony D, go back for the main title. I would love to see him a face, when he gets a chance down the line.
Tony D is a face right now.
No, but like I'm saying, like a face for the company of NXT, being the main title holder of the NXT title.
Oh yeah, hopefully down the line, because I don't know. To me, it sort of feels like he's hitting his swan song soon, because it's like the whole message behind the feud itself really is to help put Stacks over, because it's kind of one of those situations where it's like Tony's the guy right now and Stacks is like the guy, but he's not really the guy. So it's like once he attacked the guy, he became the guy. So it's kind of like one of those things where it's like little by little, you're getting all the pieces of the puzzle put together. You'll eventually find out that Luca's doing all this sneaky shit behind the scenes, and then you never know when Rizzo's gonna eventually pop up eventually, and more than likely she's probably in cahoots with Stacks as well against Tony D. Because I really don't see what else there is like for Tony after this, really, because there really isn't anything set up for him. This is pretty much his whole thing, because it's kind of like the whole thing. You take your boy under your wing, your boy eventually is going to outgrow you if you taught him all these different kinds of things. So Stacks knows all Tony's tricks, and now he can even outsmart Tony with his own. So I don't really know what else there really is for him. I'm hoping what he does works on the main roster. I'm not entirely sure, because sometimes there's only gimmicks on NXT that work in NXT. I mean, a good example is Chase U. That's not going to work on the main roster at all.
Oh, no. Maybe 20, 30 years ago, but now in current times, hell no.
Yeah, definitely like early 2000s, it would have worked in like that landscape of WWE. But now, I mean, it would just feel really awkward. But we ended up having our main event, which is something that Sean does very well, and I do like it, because a lot of people complain about the men's division, NXT. They don't really have anybody there, which is true. They really don't. So the way that Sean usually works around it is that he normally gives a spotlight to the ladies, because they have a lot of stars there. And we had our main event being a fatal four-way between Jada Parker, Lash Legend, Izzy Dame, and Jordynne Grace. And this match was around like 12 or so minutes or long. It says right here 12 minutes and 49 seconds. So they pretty much closed out the show. They did what they needed to do to build up to the match between Jordynne Grace and her challenger. At Evolution, you get a couple promo segments in between, building into that. But this was a good match itself. I mean, all these ladies did very good. Jada was showing how strong she was. Lash, again, she's always really out there when she shows her strength. Jordynne Grace, I mean, no surprise there. So a lot of these ladies did very well in this match itself. And I was looking at the people that were involved here. I knew it was going to be Jordynne Grace, because she's kind of like the girl now that Julia and Stephanie aren't there anymore. So she ended up winning this match, because I recall she ended up doing the muscle buster on Jada Parker. And I believe that Lash was in the ring, and she did the muscle buster on Jada Parker. She ended up rolling out of the ring, so she was pretty much done after that point. And then she ended up pinning her finisher on Lash. I don't know if it was Lash or Izzy Dame. It might have been Izzy Dame. I'm not entirely sure, but she took the advantage there because Jada was already doing something to her at that time. So she did what she ever needed to do left. She ended up winning the match, and then you ended up getting a stare down between Jordynne Grace and JC Jane to close out the show. One of the things I was surprised about when it came to all of this was the fact that there was no Blake Monroe on this show at all whatsoever. There was no promo segment.
Oh yeah.
There was no interview. She wasn't even showing up like towards the end of the show. Like I was expecting her to show up where Blake was when she initially debuted in NXT, because that's where JC and all of them were watching the match. I thought she was just going to come behind them and hit them, or something was going to happen out of that. But as far as I know, this looks like it's just going to be a one-on-one match between JC Jane and Jordynne Grace. So I don't know if Jordan's going to win this match, because I could say that JC Jane's a beatable champion, but they've been really throwing that out there. So I don't know for sure if Jordynne will win. Normally I would say Jordynne can win, but you never know if they really want to take this thing seriously. And also there's unfinished business between Blake Monroe and JC Jane. So to me, it seems like they want Blake Monroe to take the title off JC Jane, because you don't just have them attack her. She's off for this episode of the show to sell whatever happened that week. And I don't see them giving the title to Jordynne Grace, because they would have done it already. And I feel like at this point, especially if you're heading to the summer and there's bigger fish for Jordynne Grace to find on SmackDown or Raw, wherever she goes. So for all I know, this could just be one of those things, because if I look at it now, JC Jane versus Jordynne Grace, I'll say Jordynne Grace. But to me, it sounds like this could potentially be Jordynne's last match, and then maybe they throw on to SmackDown. Maybe
Yeah,
Julia.
because I was gonna ask you that the last rumor we heard was her going to SmackDown.
Yeah, so they can easily do one of those things where it's like, let's say Julia has the U.S. title. You can easily set up a program between her and Jordynne Grace for that U.S. title, because they have history. They have a match with one another. You got a babyface. You got a heel. Works out very well. It's a little bit different. You don't have the same characters in that field for that title fighting over it, which is something that we talked about. We want other people involved here that we don't normally see involved with a women's IC title or with the women's US title. More with the women's US title now, because it's always the same people. So it's like Jordynne Grace going after the US title. If Julia ends up defeating Zelina Vega, I mean, sign me up. I would love to see that, because we talked about this month and a half or so ago. They had a crazy match the last time they came in contact with one another, and Jordynne Grace was the one to bring that stardom Julia out there and just have her take
The intensity.
Yeah.
the intensity, because when you get Io and Kari like that, and you get Julia like that, they go fucking ballistic. Those Joshi wrestlers love that kind of shit. But that's basically what we had with NXT.
Word.
Well, that was beautifully well said. And since our audience and viewers didn't have any questions for us, we don't have that segment going on as well. Because for those that don't know, we always have Grappling in the Week, and we always save a little time for the end of the show in case our audience wants to talk to us. But in case you guys didn't have anything to add for our NXT coverage, our AEW, or our greater diversity of media, or our Night of Champion predictions, we have our outro. We have the end of our show. So, Walkers, have any last thoughts before we end the show? Have any comments about NXT? Or if not, we could just move on.
I guess just a couple notes really quick. This weekend with all our coverage, so SmackDown, we might be having an earlier show. So
Yeah, most likely instead of 11, we'll be most likely 8 or 9. My assumption.
yeah, so stay tuned to see when we go live for that. And best chance to do that is what I'm about to tell you here in just a second, because after Night of Champions, that comes on at 1 p.m. as well on Saturdays. So
Yes, 1 p.m. Saturday, so it'll probably be ending by 4 o'clock.
yeah, so probably, I mean, depending on the day, probably expect us maybe to talk about that around 8 or 9 as well on Saturday. But again, time pending. We'll see how Saturday goes for all three of us. Yeah, and the only way to know when all that's going on, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon, get notified of all that stuff, so that way you can get champions. I want to know what happened there, because that show looked like booty cheeks, but hey, maybe it turned out pretty good. You have to tune in to find out with all that. But Yep, that's all I got besides some cheap plugs.
Well,
So.
the way you can always check Watkins. You can always check out Drop This Box on his personal channel as well. The links are down below in the description where you can find how his gaming content, stuff about Nintendo, and many other stuff that he talks about and he loves want to explore. But thank you for checking out Grappling the Week for this week, episode 21, our production show and our coverage for the latest news and media. So thank you for listening for the Grappling of the Week. Before we head out, as always, be sure to follow all the social media platforms. Like Watkins said, the links are down below in our description. Or if you listen to the audio feed as well, the links are still below the description. So we're here known as Weebs of the Ring on all platforms. Be sure to use the hashtag Weebs of the Ring to interact with us, or use the follow button before, during, or after our show. Feedback is always appreciated, as we're nothing without you tuning in. Grappling of the Week is presented by Animal Weed Studio. Thank you for our production team for all our hard work. Thank you for joining us today, and shout out to not Steve, to Stu for helping us with the recording of this podcast. Have a good night, everyone. We see you for Friday Night SmackDown for Fight Night.